3, 2, 1. What's up, everybody? A Sparrow with a Gun here from Sleepless Night Studios. I know it's been a little bit, so I wanted to give you guys a quick update on kind of what's been going on behind the scenes and in the background stuff, and let you know what's kind of I'm thinking is going to happen moving forward. So first of all, mostly good news, in that while I am still very paranoid and suspicious, by that I mean pretty much every night before I go to bed I've been like tearing my bed apart. Well, maybe that's extreme, but I definitely throw the covers open and be like, aha! In hopes of, well, actually not the hopes of catching anything, but, you know, catching them off guard if they're there. But so, okay. So, realistic version though, the pest control guy came out, sprayed everything, we did all that stuff. So far so good. Think the bed bugs are gone. Don't want to say it too much more than that because I'm afraid it might jinx it, so good Lord willing, river don't rise, etc. and so on. I think we're out of the woods with that, but, so, still kind of a little bit in shambles. I still haven't put everything back, you know, it's still, some stuff still bagged up and things from when we had to kind of like go through and clean everything, so we're still not quite back into the full swing of things. As far as the dog front goes, he just finished his antibiotic today, or, well, Friday the 17th. For whenever this ends up going up. It's probably going to either be later this evening or Saturday, I'm not sure yet. So he's done with his antibiotic. At the moment, from what I can tell, I don't see any more sores, which, again, kind of hoping not to jinx that. Actually, fun fact, I haven't been able to confirm it. Both the pest control guy and the vet both said it was very unlikely, but I'm not 100% convinced yet that his sore on his feet wasn't coming from the bed bugs themselves, because they were actually in the couch, in our living room, which is where he basically sleeps a lot of the time. And on Orkin's website, it says how to identify bites on pets, even though the pest control guy said they don't normally go to pets. And that was also confirmed through my vet. He said that that's you don't normally see that in veterinary medicine, which I don't doubt, but it's my dog and my stuff. So, you know, exceptions probably apply. But one of the things they said was they look like the same thing on an animal. They get like the small red bump that gets irritated and stuff like that. And they said sometimes it happens predominantly at night, much like people when you're sleeping. So the first thing to do is to check the bedding, which essentially he doesn't have a bed, so he pretty much sleeps on the couch or on the floor. But the couch also had them. So, in my mind, all these things are starting to add up. The time frame works, the location works. The only thing that's basically working against the theory is the vet and the pest people saying it doesn't normally happen. So, he's through his current sore, I think, at the moment, so time will tell if that theory holds up. I'm hoping, because if that is, that's a fix, that's a solution, and he won't have these anymore. Theoretically. Okay, so I had mentioned a few weeks back that I was probably going to start trying to take some time off just for my own sanity, basically. I haven't really taken time off and, like, did nothing on purpose for, like, years. Normally it just happens that I don't feel like working a day and I take off, but it's not intentional, like, vacation time type of thing. So I figured coming up on the holidays, it's a good time to do that. So I mentioned taking time off earlier. I think I have a bit more of an official thing at this point. So a lot of you, truth be told, I hadn't really been exposed to this until I got into YouTube, but most of my audience probably is aware that Thanksgiving's coming up. I didn't really think about it until I got into YouTube and actually had people comment and say, like, you know, in my country we don't celebrate that or something. I was like, oh, yeah, that's true. This is a worldwide thing. Which is really cool, by the way, that I've actually reached people in other countries and stuff like that. That's very mind-blowing. But anyways, so, yeah, for those of you that, you know, especially stateside and stuff, but for those of you that are, regardless of where you are, that celebrate, you know, that's coming up. So I was going to take the week of Thanksgiving and Christmas probably off. I hadn't decided if I was going to do bulk recording stuff beforehand and then take off, and then this kind of stuff happened, which kind of threw a monkey wrench into that. So, for at least Thanksgiving, I probably just won't be doing any more videos until after the week of Thanksgiving. So, since I'm already kind of off-ish and not really doing an active thing, and that's next week, I mean, we're in the weekend, I think I'm just going to say I'm off through Thanksgiving, and I'll be coming back with a steady schedule after that. Now, for Christmas, I don't know yet. I haven't gotten that far. I may do bulk recordings and get them out of the way and then take that off. That leads me into my next point. I also mentioned I might be changing my schedule around when I did come back. Well, actually, I was thinking of changing my schedule around the new year anyway, but since I took a sabbatical from it anyway, seemed kind of like the time to take a minute and reassess. So, here's the dealio. And I may end up doing a more thorough video on this in the future, but I just wanted to get the idea out there and what I was thinking. A lot of you are aware that the channel, while has steadily increased, and I'm still getting more subscribers and things like that, it's not turning into like the full-time YouTubing thing that I wanted it to be that can support myself. Which is part of why I started a Patreon, but didn't really have a lot of incentives to push the Patreon type of thing. So that's kind of just sat there. So I've been focused more on projects lately to try and find something that I can do to kind of like stay with the things I want to do and build the company and brand and stuff that I want to build with Sleepless Nights, but also, that happens to pay the bills and, do practical things like that. So I've been focused more on projects. A lot of you are aware I've been starting to talk more and more about my book that I've been working on, which is close to being done in terms of the draft is done and I'm still doing some rewrite stuff. But again, a lot of this stuff happened, haven't had time to work on it really. Though I did get some sketches done for my cover art. But so basically what's going on is I'm thinking I'm going to end up, when I come back after Thanksgiving, cutting back my YouTubing schedule in terms of amount of series that I'm releasing. And it's a bittersweet thing because I like all of the games that I play on my channel and I like all of the series that I'm doing, but I feel like it's been just stretched too thin. I'm doing too many things. I can't put enough time into any given one of them to where not one of them is making a lot of progress. They're all kind of like almost like short little streams because I'm not really able to cut too much out due to time. So I'd like to kind of trim the fat, as it were, and also free up some time to where I can work more on these projects that I'm working on so I can get my book done a little faster so that it can get out there and I can move on to other things. Again, I reference it frequently at this point that the season 2 of Dog Squad still being in limbo frustrates me to no end because it's just like it's one of those, like, I've sat on it, we knew what we wanted to do with it, we had it all planned out, we even had most of the audio recorded, and there's still some finishing touches. We have to finish the audio, I have to build some of the sets and ships and things for the series, and then I've got to obviously record and edit and do all those types of things, but it's like, I know what steps need to be done, and it just doesn't seem to be going anywhere, and it's all just trying to do too many things at one time. So I'm trying to kind of reshift and refocus and do more of the important stuff. So what I'm thinking my new schedule will be is the things that I'm keeping are Elite Dangerous and Space Engineers, the Let's Play type things. And then I'm keeping the Space Engineers Inspiration series. And I will probably be doing one more series to keep it at 4 per week. Or 4 episodes per week, 1 per series per week. What I do, I'm not really decided on, and I'm going to kind of leave it in what you guys think, so I'll need some feedback from everybody watching this. And if you're, like a subscriber and you're really into trying to help me figure out what I'm doing. What I'm thinking is I'm torn between an Empyrean Inspiration series because I've seen how well the Space Engineers one did, and I've looked at some of the builds since I started playing Empyrean like a Let's Play, and some of them looked really cool, like even cooler than the Space Engineers ones because Empyrean has some more detail blocks for the interior. And so there's some of those where I was like, man, why have I not done an Inspiration series for this? This would be really cool. But I don't know if that's something that you guys would be interested in. So that's the one I'm debating with. The other one is a little bit of an iffy because I've been talking about it for a while, but I'm still debating on doing a Space Engineers Programming 102 series. The reason I'm debating about it is I cannot guarantee regular content with that. Like, it won't be every week. It can't be every week because I would be shifting the style that I was doing rather than almost like a Let's Code where you're seeing it happen mostly in real time. Flaws, lack of progress, and everything and all. I'd like to shift it over to more of a, what are we working on? Okay, so here's what we're working on. Here's how the script works. Now let me break down how it works. Type of thing. Like show you the script that I've already done and is already finished and it's working. And then go, here's what it looks like in action. Now let's break down the code and explain why it works. That's what I'd like to do with the series, but that in and of itself is going to require a lot more time and a lot less regular episodes. Because I did a lot with the 101 series where it was like, I did an episode every week, but it didn't always make a lot of progress. It was kind of like, you'd be tinkering with one element of the code for a while, and that's usually the stuff you would cut out, but that was the style I was trying to test out because I'd never really seen it done before. So I think I would like to move into more of a, here's a code that I did, here's what it looks like, and now here's how it works, and then at the end of whatever that code script would be, it would turn into kind of a, now let me know what you guys want to see next. What kind of codes are you looking for? And then basically try and work on those. That's what I'm thinking about doing with that series. But if I do something like the Empyrean one and I'm up to 4 already, I won't be doing that because I cannot add more to my schedule than I'm trying to trim out what I don't need, not add to it. But I have been toying with the idea of kind of repurposing some of my content into more unique scripted type stuff rather than Let's Play style. Something like the Inspiration series is not really a Let's Play, it's more of a showcase type thing. Those are different. Programming series, Dog Squad, things like that. And doing less and less of like just straight Let's Play videos type of things because I'm getting a little burned out with them. I've been doing them for a long time, and some work, some don't, some lose interest. There's a whole lot of aspects to it, but the biggest being that they take a lot of time to do, and I don't have it to do when what happened is basically I shifted gears and started focusing more on project work, and my YouTube stuff started becoming a hindrance, if I'm being 100% honest. So I'm trying to keep it to where everybody who likes the channel, likes what's currently happening, stays because they still like the stuff, but also cut it down to where I can manage it a little bit better. It doesn't take up as much of my time, and then I can focus more on these other projects because I would like my YouTube channel to be a platform to talk about the projects that I'm working on and show, here's an update trailer, here's whatever. Here's things that I'm working on. The hard part with that is that, like I said, I'm usually trying to split both ends type of thing as far as, or split hairs, I guess. I don't know what metaphor I was going with. Just ignore that part. I'm basically trying to do too many things, and so I never really have time to do any one of them really well. And so kind of one of those, taking the time off gave me the time to really take a step back, not feel pressured, look at it and go, what do I really want to do? What do I want to keep? What do I not? What needs to be there? What can I spare to lose? And like I said, it's kind of a bittersweet because I like the Starbound stuff. I like the Empyrean series. I like, those are fun games, and I enjoy the interaction with the comment section and stuff with them, but it's just one of those, like, they're not really performing view-wise and stuff, such and etc. and so on. So, with all that said, that's kind of what I'm thinking. It's going to end up being Elite and Space Engineers as a Let's Play, and then probably the Space Engineers Inspiration series, and then either an Empyrean version or an as I get the scripts done and edit the videos and stuff, like a programming series. But the latter two would I'm on the fence about, so I would say I'm leaving it kind of to you guys as to which you'd prefer seeing. If you're more interested in the coding and scripting side, that's fine. Just know that those won't be coming out every week. I'd be lucky if the scripts are complex enough. I'd be lucky if I was making an episode a month. Because I would basically be taking the same time I'd be working on whatever 4th episode I had on my schedule to be coding stuff. And then once all the coding and everything is done and it's finished, then I would start actually recording snippets and editing and all that stuff. So there's an extra step there kind of thing. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking as far as my schedule. When I come back after Thanksgiving, it'll probably be that, and I'm kind of leaving this here so that you guys can comment on it and leave me feedback so that by the time I start back up, I'll know kind of which series I'm going to pick for the 4th one. And And let me know what you guys think about the schedule. If there's something else that you would like or recommend, I'm open to suggestions as long as you understand that it may or may not change. I never mind hearing people's opinions as long as it's not like, there's outrage and pandemonium when the suggestion isn't taken to heart or something. That's the best of both worlds I could think of, because I know Elite and Space Engineers is probably my biggest pull to my channel. Most of my viewers tend to watch other things, but they were like, that's their main stuff, and then they also happen to watch other things. But I rarely have had, other than, I guess, Subnautica was one that I pulled in kind of its own separate group of people. And I'm not opposed to bringing that back at some point, but I definitely want to let them kind of do more with it and fix some things, particularly in performance. And so, yeah, that's one of those that eventually I'll revisit, but I'm kind of waiting on that until more changes with the game. The other thing I've thought about doing briefly, but it's a very loose concept, is I've toyed around with the idea of getting into game reviews and stuff like that. Mainly just because I find myself talking to friends of mine and stuff, and we're always nitpicking and kind of critiquing what we liked and didn't like about them and things like that. But I don't know if there's enough of a demand there in my channel, like if that's something that people would look for in my channel. Frankly, if anybody cared about my opinion about the games that much or not. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about that, but that's the kind of stuff that I'm thinking about, as far as I definitely want to move away a bit more from the Let's Play and a bit more into more scripted, stylized, unique content kind of thing. But for now, I'm thinking I'm kind of going to teeter-totter and balance it with a bit of both, until I can get some of these projects done, because I'm still trying to redo my website, I'm still working on my book, I'm still working on Dog Squad, I'm doing a new intro, which I'm hoping... I've had some setbacks with my new intro, so I don't know, so I don't want to get anybody's hopes up, but I'm hoping that I can get that done before Thanksgiving, so that when I come back, I'll have a whole new intro thing. It's not going terribly, but I thought I was done with a couple parts, and then I found out it didn't really work the way that I wanted it to, so I have to go back and rebuild a couple of things in Blender. So yeah, that's kind of all that I have at the moment. That's probably a lot, or well, at least enough for you guys to think about at the moment. So yeah, give me your feedback. Let me know what you guys think. Cast your vote, or whatever, as it were, for different aspects and scenarios and things like that. And if there's some idea that you've always thought would be interesting for me to do or something on my channel, and I've never entertained the idea, haven't mentioned it before, feel free to throw it out there, again with the one caveat that I may or may not use it, and don't take it personally. Because ultimately, a lot of the thing is I end up listening not only to myself and my own vision for the brand, but also for the majority. If you have one person that screams this one thing, but then everybody else isn't, probably not going to go with that one person. So that's something to just bear in mind. If you're going to throw out suggestions that I haven't mentioned or anything like that, it's like, I'll read them all and take them under advisement and things, but it may or may not happen. But on that note, I think we're going to wrap things up here for today. I just wanted to let you guys know kind of what was going on and where everything stands and what the current schedule plan is. So that's what I've got for now. So I think we're going to wrap this up here. I hope you all enjoyed. For all of you that do celebrate Thanksgiving, I hope you all have a happy Thanksgiving, and I will see you guys afterwards. Peace.